America is so violent. Our favorite sport is football, which is so violent. We love our guns. We got mass shootings all the time. And we export that violence to the rest of the world through an endless supply of wars and weapons. So, what usually happens with violent aggressors is that they start to become paranoid, thinking everyone's going to retaliate all the time. And that's what's happening right now to America. Now we've got all these watch lists where we watch people, not because they've given us reason to necessarily, often, but because we're paranoid. So this new push to ban people on the no-fly watch list from buying guns is a perfect marriage of paranoia and violence. In case you didn't hear, President Obama got on the mic recently to say that no one on America's no-fly list should be able to buy a gun. He said, "What could possibly be the argument for allowing a terrorist suspect to buy a semi-automatic weapon?" So, since he asked that question, here's my answer. The no-fly list contains about 16,000 names at the last count. Many people on that list have never been charged with a crime, and there's not much proof required to get on the list. In fact, a federal court has called the government's way of dealing with this list flat out unconstitutional. People get on the list wrongfully all the time. It's an incredibly ineffective, unlawful, arbitrary, paranoid list. But that's not the biggest argument against using the no-fly list to prevent people from getting guns. The biggest argument is how arbitrary it really is. Because those 16,000 people are only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to how many people America watches out of paranoia. The National Counterterrorism Center has a list of about 25,000 Americans it watches as potential terrorists. It also has another classified database that watches another 420,000 people, according to the FBI. The TSA also watches another 16,000 people as selectees who can fly, but only after the TSA can mess with them. All told, that is more than 450,000 people America watches. So to just say that the 16,000 people on the no-fly list can't buy guns is colossally arbitrary, and it's just political posturing, not to mention unconstitutional. If the president wants Americans to be less violent, he should lead by example and stop being so violent himself. But instead, he wants to feed into it all by taking away more rights with a healthy dose of paranoia. So, if our own violence doesn't destroy us, our paranoia most certainly will. Tonight, let's talk about that.